Chapter 2. Echoes of the Call. The drive home felt longer than it had any right to. Winston didn't remember packing his bag. He didn't remember locking his dorm door or telling Malcolm he'd be gone for a few days. He only remembered the sound of his father's breathing on the phone, ragged, controlled, like he was holding something inside that refused to stay contained. DC blurred past the car window as Winston drove south into Prince George's County. Streetlights streaked across the windshield. Every few seconds, he checked his phone, half hoping the call would reveal itself to be a mistake, a miscommunication, a bureaucratic error. His brother was a Marine. Marines didn't die in the middle of the night. Not Andre. Not the man who could do 50 push-ups without blinking. Not the one who'd once pulled Winston out of a swimming pool when he was 8 and panicking, holding him against his chest and saying, "I've got you, always." The house looked the same when he pulled into the driveway. Small brick colonial. Warm porch light. Curtains drawn. But something in the air felt wrong, like a storm had passed and left pressure behind. The front door was open. That's when he saw them. 2 uniformed Marines standing just inside the living room. Dress blues, white gloves, medals gleaming in lamplight. The world slowed. His mother sat on the couch, both hands clasped together so tightly her knuckles were pale. Her eyes were swollen, but dry now. His father stood near the window, jaw set, shoulders squared in a way that looked unnatural, like he was holding himself upright by force. One of the Marines turned as Winston stepped inside. "Are you Winston Sinclair?" the taller one asked gently. Winston nodded. The room felt too small, too quiet. Even the hum of the refrigerator from the kitchen sounded distant. "I am Captain Morris," the Marine continued. "On behalf of the Commandant of the Marine Corps, we regret to inform you—" The words came like fragments, broken glass, formal, practiced. Staff Sergeant Andre Sinclair, killed in action, overseas deployment, sustained injuries, unable to be revived. Winston heard the words, but they did not attach to meaning. Killed in action. Andre? His brother's face flashed in his mind, smirking across a kitchen table, wearing dress blues at graduation, lifting Winston onto his shoulders after a high school football game. No. His mother made a sound then, not a scream, not quite a cry. It was lower than that. Something pulled from deep inside her chest. His father did not move. Winston's legs gave slightly, and he caught himself against the wall. Captain Morris kept speaking. Words about honor, sacrifice, service to country, a nation grateful, funeral arrangements forthcoming. The second Marine handed his mother a folded American flag. Winston stared at it. The fabric looked impossibly heavy. After they left, silence settled like dust. The front door clicked shut. The house, once full of formal voices, felt hollow. Winston sat on the arm of the couch, elbows on his knees, staring at the carpet. "This isn't real," he said quietly. His father's voice came from somewhere behind him. "It is." His mother shook her head slowly. No, he just called last week. He said he was fine. He said he'd be home for Christmas. She began rocking gently, as if movement could undo what had been said. Winston stood abruptly and walked toward Andre's old bedroom. The door was closed. He opened it. The room smelled faintly of cologne and old laundry detergent. Posters from high school still hung crooked on the walls. A Marine Corps plaque rested above the desk. His bed was made. Winston stepped inside like he was trespassing. He touched the edge of the dresser, the desk, the window frame. His brother had slept here, laughed here, packed duffel bags here before deployments. He sat on the bed, killed in action. It sounded like something from a movie, a headline, a statistic, not a brother. He pressed his palms into his eyes until colors burst behind them. I was supposed to be there when he got back, he whispered to no one. He thought of their last conversation. You good at school? Andre had asked over video chat. Yeah. Keep grinding, don't slack. I need at least one genius in the family. Winston had rolled his eyes. You're the hero. I'm just the nerd. Andre laughed. No, little bro. You're building something bigger than me. Winston swallowed hard. What did any of that matter now? Algorithms, internships, study groups. None of it could reverse a single bullet. None of it could bring Andre back. The next few days moved in slow, uneven waves. Relatives came and went. Church members filled the house with food Winston couldn't taste. Condolences stacked like unopened mail. Your brother was a hero. We're so proud of him. He died serving his country. Winston nodded mechanically. He hated that word, hero. Hero sounded like triumph. This felt like theft. At night, he lay awake in his childhood room, staring at the ceiling fan. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the Marines at the door. Dress blues, white gloves, that folded flag. He stopped checking emails from Frederick Douglass University, stopped responding to texts from the crew. Malcolm's name lit up his phone repeatedly. TJ sent voice notes. Elijah texted, "We're here." Amara called every evening. He let it ring twice before answering. "How are you?" she asked softly. "I don't know." She didn't try to fix it. She just stayed on the line, breathing, present. "I keep thinking this is temporary," he said one night. Like he's just deployed again. "I know," she whispered. "He was supposed to outlive all of us." There was a long pause. "Winston," she said carefully, "it's okay if you don't know who you are right now." That sentence lingered long after the call ended. Who he was. He had always been Andre's little brother. The smart one, the one with potential. If Andre was gone, what was he supposed to be? The funeral arrived beneath gray skies. Rows of white chairs lined the cemetery. Marines stood in formation. The air carried that crisp, metallic scent of winter approaching. Winston sat between his parents, spine rigid. He watched as the casket was lowered, watched as the rifle salute cracked through the air, 3 sharp bursts that echoed in his chest. Watched as the flag was folded with exact precision. A Marine knelt before his mother and handed it to her. She clutched it like a lifeline. When the bugle played taps, something inside Winston splintered. Not loudly, quietly, like wood under pressure. He had spent his life believing in forward motion. Grades led to internships. Internships led to careers. Effort led to reward. But what equation explained this? What algorithm justified it? That night, back home, he stood in the kitchen. The same kitchen where Andre had stolen extra patties from the stove. Where his mother had laughed and swatted at him with a towel. Everything looked unchanged. And yet, everything had shifted. Winston placed both hands on the counter. "I don't know what I'm supposed to do now," he said aloud. The word surprised him. He had always known what he was supposed to do. Study, excel, rise. Now the future felt thin, abstract. He didn't care about midterms, didn't care about internships, didn't care about being the smart one. For the first time in his life, the path ahead was not clear. It wasn't even visible. He felt untethered, like someone had cut the rope that connected him to everything solid. Upstairs, his parents moved quietly in separate rooms. The house creaked in the night air. Winston stood there for a long time, listening to the refrigerator hum, to the clock tick, to his own breathing. Andre was gone. And with him, the version of Winston that had been built around certainty. Outside, the world continued as it always did. Cars passing, sirens in the distance, streetlights glowing steady. But inside that house, something sacred had ended. And Winston, unmoored and hollow, began to question everything he had once believed mattered.